Hi everyone, Rob with Shop Prop. Let's talk real quickly about evaluating mortgages and should I pay down my interest rate by buying points. So what is a point? So a point, let's go to a pretty easy example. A point, let's say I have $1 million loan and whatever this term is, let's assume a 30-year fixed, I'm at 6.25% interest rate. If I buy 3 points, that's going to cost me $10,000 or 1% of this loan for each point. So if I buy 3, it's obviously $30,000. If I buy 1, it's $10,000. And it brings down my interest rate a quarter of a point for every point that I spend. So every $10,000 that I spend on this particular loan. And what else I have to look at is what this break-even point is. And so we'll talk about that in a second. But let's first evaluate, because it's going to determine whether or not I'm going to be buying these points or not and bringing down my interest rate. And then there's some other variables to look at. But what I'm going to look at is, let's say I'm looking at holding a property for 2 years. My evaluation becomes easy. I simply look at what closing costs that are specific to my lender. So not prepaid taxes, not title, not escrow, but appraisal fees, loan origination fees, all these little fees that my lender charges me. I want to add those up and that then add up my monthly payments over that course of that 2 years. I add them together and then I can easily evaluate one loan against the other. This loan's costing me $5,500. This one's costing me $5,000. I'm taking the one that's costing $5,000. And guess what? I'm never buying down points because I'm never going to be break even on getting my money back on what I spend on this point. It's going to take me 5.2 years. How do I evaluate that? It's pretty simple. I take the cost of however much that costs, which is $10,000, divided by the amount of the difference in the interest rate payments, gives me this 5.2 period that I have to hold that loan for me just to break even. Then there's some other things to evaluate too when you're looking at whether or not what loan you should take. And that is, what do I think is going to happen to interest rates over this 5-year period? Am I going to have an opportunity to go ahead and refinance at a lower rate? I mean, if the rate goes from 5.25 from 6.25 to 5.25 a year from now, I just blew $10,000 or $99,000, right? So I have to think about that in terms of what I think is going to happen with interest rate, and then also what do I think I could do with that money. So with Shop Prop, obviously you can get money back in the form of a variety of different ways that you might want to use that money paying down higher interest rate loans. What if I'm going to spend money doing upgrades or this or that? I may be able to use that money in better spots than even if I'm looking at buying down points and holding that property past that break-even point in the terms of real dollars. So think about all those things when you're getting ready to invest in a mortgage. Commissions, these type of things that I'm talking about can significantly save you money and are things to be at least considered when you're going to evaluating mortgages and when you're deciding what you want to do with your rebate. I hope that helps.